Fresno Cable 4 presents the NYL Game of the Week. Tonight it's the Madera Coyotes taking on the Clovis West Golden Eagles. Good evening, everyone. Along with Mike Pierce, I'm Anthony Diodato. And Mike and I are looking forward to a real fine contest this evening at Clovis High School.
That's right, Tony. It's another production of the NYL Game of the Week from Cable 4. Today, as you can see, Madera versus Clovis West. The Clovis West Eagles entered this 1983 season with a team that is a little hard to predict. Their offense will be without the outstanding arm of Jeff Peterson, who's led the team for the last 2 years. And there you see the Madera Coyotes, but trying to fill the shoes tonight of past outstanding quarterback for Clovis West, Jeff Peterson, will be senior Todd Bauer. Bauer will have the help of running backs Ken Von Essen, Todd Barnes, and Brian Lewis. Also, three-year tight end Paul Green, 6'3", 220 pounds, is an outstanding tight end in his own right. The Eagles' defense is led by Mark Chiljan, Marko Milatovich, both linemen, and the linebacking crew will be led by 6'3", 180-pound Greg Locke. For head coach Max Newberry and his Eagles, this will be a year that may be destined for a spot in the playoffs. The Madera Coyotes, meanwhile, will be returning 4 All-Northern California selection Elmer Parker and Brian Greer, perhaps the biggest threat on defense at the linebacker position in the NYL, and maybe even in the Valley. Madera comes into tonight's game with a great tradition on football. Over the past 5 years, Madera's Coyotes have a record of 35-15-1. Dennis Mink, the head coach of the Coyotes, will be relying on his offense to produce. Tony scores via speed. Ron McCree will be in at receiver. He's 6 foot, 165 pounds, and the fastest freshman metric spinner ever in the Valley.
Well, Mike, it should be a great contest. The two teams coming in ranked in the top 10. Madera and Clovis West both having pretty good starts to their season as far as the polls go. Although Madera lost last week to Merced, they're number 9 in the Valley. Clovis West number 10. And we're about ready to go, as Bill Parker is ready to boot it off from Madera, as Clovis West will receive the kick moving from your left to your right. And there's the boot, and we're underway. And Mike rumbling all the way down to the 32-yard line, and a great kickoff return for the Clovis West Eagles.
Tony, we said this Clovis West team was potent, and there you see that they are strong in just about every position. That run back, a fine run back there for Clovis West, and they've already got great field position.
First down for the Eagles. Todd Bauer, the quarterback, first on the 32-yard line. There's a give up the middle, and there's Von Essen, their fine running back, going for a couple, and Clovis West will come up second in about 8.
And I believe on that run back, that was Jeff Tice, 5'9", 165-pound senior. He changed numbers on us, came in with 34. He's wearing 35 right now.
That's right. We had no 35 roster listed. Clovis, I formation. Bauer over center. Here's the pitch. And there goes Todd Barnes, the 5'4" senior for Clovis West, moving up for a couple, and the Eagles are going to be, Mike, 4 or 5 yards short of a first down on third down.
Yeah, Tony, and you may look for the Clovis West to either probably keep it on the ground. They've had some good success this year with the running game, some outstanding running backs along with the line. They also have a potent air attack, so anything could go here.
Well, they give him very little progress in that run, make it third and about 7.5 or so, and Bauer's going to throw it. And Bauer to his tight end, Paul Green, and Green brings it down to the 14-yard line at Clovis West. First down to the Madera 14.
Great catch by Green as you see him walk back to the huddle. As we said, Clovis West, an outstanding air attack as well as running. They could go anywhere, as I said, in the NYL this year. Mysterious team coming in. Don't have a lot of big names, but they do have a very, very solid team.
First down on the 14. There's a give up the middle to Brian Lewis, and Lewis goes for about 3, and it'll be second and about 7 for the Eagles on the 11-yard line of the Madera Coyotes.
Lewis came into today's game with 9 rushing attempts, and he gained 72 yards. That was last week versus San Joaquin, the first game for Clovis West. Total of 72 yards on the year. Average of 8 yards per carry.
It's a play fake. Bauer to throw. He's got his man open. And it's a touchdown to Melvin Jones, and Clovis West leads at 6-0 as Bauer hooks up with Melvin Jones. But we've got a flag.
You can see the Madera Coyotes signaling, Tony. It looks like it will go against Clovis West and erase that touchdown throw.
It'll be a procedure call against Clovis West. So a tough break for the Golden Eagles. That time, Melvin Jones wide open, Mike, in the left corner of that end zone.
That's right, Tony. You can bet the Clovis Cougars are happy about that call. Talked to their defensive coach before the game, and he said that their team, defensive-wise, is a little mixed as far as depth. They've got some seniors, a lot of juniors and sophomores mixed in with the seniors, so a lot of learning will be going on in the first half of this NYL season for the Madera Coyotes defense.
Instead of a touchdown, it's second and about 14. Bauer to throw. He's got Barnes out here in the right flat, and down goes Barnes. Nice hit by both Montagna and Elmer Parker, the NYL Defensive Player of the Year last year. And right now, the Coyotes, after dodging a bit of a bullet there with that procedure call, are in pretty good shape, Mike. They've got Clovis West back in a tough position. They need to pick up about 12 yards, and you've got to get it in only a 17-yard area of the field.
That's right, Tony. We've been talking about Madera's defense. Parker is a 3-year starter, and he's attracting national attention, evidently. And according to the head coach Fink, the Coyote boss says he has little doubt that Greer, with a 3.8 grade average, will have any problem going on to college. He looks like an outstanding prospect out of the Valley.
Well, you're talking about the two fine linebackers there from Madera, Elmer Parker and Brian Greer. Right now we have a bit of a chance to chat as you take a look at the Clovis West sideline and their pep squads. Clovis West has taken a timeout. Max Newberry on the field to have a bit of a discussion with his team. We were mentioning last week, Mike, that is allowed, of course, now in the league timeout, and the coach can come out in the field and make sure that his directions aren't misinterpreted from the 20 or 25 yards away he might have been on the sidelines in previous years.
Tony, the top running back for Clovis West this year is Ken Von Essen. Last week versus Clovis West, he ran 139 yards on 15 attempts. That's an average of 9.3 yards per carry, an excellent average for any running back.
With Von Essen and Barnes in behind the quarterback, Bauer, he's got a tough one, third and about 12. He'll toss it. Looking out there for his tight end, Paul Green. The pass incomplete, misses him by a few yards. And Clovis West is going to come up 4th and long, and we'll probably see a field goal attempt here. It would be a field goal of about 34 yards or so.
Some good defensive work by Madera's Billy Gomes, sophomore, 155-pound defensive back. Great containment down there in the goal line area.
Jim Kirk in to attempt the field goal. That will be 34 yards from the right hash mark. Bauer will hold. There's the boot, and it's strong. And it is good. 34-yard field goal by Jim Kirk, and Clovis West doesn't get the 7 they were looking for before, but they get the 3 with 9:18 to go in the first quarter. It's Clovis West 3, Madera nothing.
Quick scoring there, Tony, by Clovis West as the cannons fire off here at Darrell Monica Stadium. Clovis West looking very potent on offense. We'll see how their defense holds up after this. Madera will be receiving this kickoff. And for the Madera Coyotes, if they want to hold on to their number 9 ranking or perhaps move up, they'll have to beat Clovis West here today, and they've got their work cut out for them already.
Jim Kirk, who just kicked that 34-yard field goal, is ready to boot it away from his own 40. Back deep is Chuck Lyons for Madera, and here's the boot. And it's taken on the 9-yard line, and breaking through the middle and bouncing off tacklers is number 3, Billy Gomes. Gomes all the way out to the 46-yard line, where Madera will start in good field position, just as Clovis West did after the Keith Tice return brought it down to the 32.
Wow, Tony, some great runbacks here so far. The first two kickoffs have come out to around the 50-yard line for both teams. And for a defense, both for the Coyotes and the Clovis West Eagles, something you hate to see. Start with your backs to the wall already on the first play.
Madera's quarterback is Russell Neal. Single setback behind Neal, and here's the pitch. And breaking away as he bounces off tacklers is number 43, Chuck Lyons. But down he goes in what might have been a touchdown-saving tackle that time by number 40, John Martin. Boy, if Martin doesn't get him after he bounced off those tacklers, Lyons might be off to the races.
That's right. Todd Barnes, very, very quick running back, and he's very elusive there, as he showed. And he can go all the way easily. Senior, 160 pounds.
So as Chuck Lyons is knocked down there by John Martin, it'll be 2nd and 11 on the 43. Neal to throw. He looks over the middle, and he's got his big tight end, Kurt Sagusby, at the 49.
Good play there by Madera, Tony. They had a 2nd and long there as he got caught behind the line of scrimmage. Good play. Now they've got 3rd and 5, and that's a good percentage for any team.
Kurt Sagusby is a senior. He's a 185-pounder. And he sees a lot of action, particularly when Madera goes to the single setback. 3rd and 5 for the Coyotes. Neal back to throw. He dumps it out here to Lyons, and Lyons can't hang on, and we've got a flag. It should be 4th and 5 after that drop pass, but we've got a flag, and we've got an eligible man downfield on Madera.
So, Tony, unlike Madera's defense, it seems like the Clovis West defense was able to hold here, and it appears that Madera will be forced to punt on 4th down if this holds true.
I think they're going to decline the penalty and make it 4th right now and let him go ahead and kick it away from midfield. You can't say enough about that play John Martin made to open up this ball game on Chuck Lyons. Lyons had started left on the first down play, bounced off 2 tacklers, and the only thing left to the right side because the pursuit was moving left was Martin. Had Martin not made that shoot top tackle, might have seen Chuck Lyons go all the way. After that, they settled down, did the Golden Eagle defense, and they forced a punt. So back to punt is Manuel Perez. And Todd Barnes is deep. We got a whistle before they kick. Barnes makes the grab about the 16. But Barnes is going to have to give the football back, which he does. We may have a delay of game here on the Madera Coyote offense.
Madera perhaps waiting to see if Clovis West would jump off sides there, trying to give them the automatic first down. Fortunately, Clovis West was a little bit more disciplined than Madera had hoped, and they will be forced to punt once again.
Madera will have to kick it away, and once again Perez will boot it off in the direction of Barnes. Here's the Perez kick. Barnes a fair catch about his 17, and he's got it. And that's where Clovis West will take over. The Golden Eagles leading 3-0, 7:25 to go in the first quarter.
Good punt there by Manuel Perez for the Madera Coyotes. Kept the Clovis West Eagles from returning the ball at all, and they're going to start from their 17. That's a heck of a lot better for the Madera defense than having to start at their own at midfield, or perhaps even worse than that, which they had last time.
Last time after the Keith Ties run back, they had to start with the ball on their 32-yard line defensively to the Coyotes. This is certainly a lot better than that. And before quarterback Bauer can call signals, we've got another whistle. And it looks like we've got some confusion with the yard markers. Officials time out for just a moment while they clear that confusion up. You see the head linesman and one of the other officials getting together. The Eagles are very anxious to go there, Mike. You can see they're already at the line of scrimmage, and still having a bit of conversation with the referees. So here we go. First down on their own 17. Here's the give up the middle and bounce down after a couple of yards is Barnes. Check that, make that Lewis. Have to pardon the confusion between Lewis and Barnes. They're both about 5'4" and both around 155 pounds or so, and they look very similar back in that backfield. Credit with about a half-yard pickup. It's 2nd and 9.5. Here's the give to Lewis, and he puts his head down and goes for about a yard, yard and a half, and no more, where he's stacked up in the center of the Madera line. On defense is all over him.
Yeah, Tony, Clovis West doesn't seem to have been having too much success thus far, although this is only their second series of downs on offense with the run. Look for them possibly to go to the air. Last week, Madera High their defense was just riddled. 302 yards versus Merced as they lost that game 40-29.
Ray Montagna in that last stop doing a real nice job of clogging up the middle. Now we're 3rd and 8, and he'll throw if he has time, and he won't have time. Down he goes. Elmer Parker's in there, and so is number 74, Ray Montagna. So Montagna and Parker blow in to knock Bauer down back at the 14-yard line, and Clovis West with 4th and about 13 will have to punt it away.
So we got a player down on the field, and while we have that break, what I was trying to say was that last week Madera's defense may have been on vacation still. Jeff Mott, the quarterback for Merced, threw for 302 yards, all of those in the air, and he was almost perfect. 11 of 18 passes, and that led to a 33-14 score at halftime. Madera's defense seems to have come back here. That sack will be important to limiting the Clovis West air attack.
The injured player is the defensive tackle, Anthony Gallegos. You can see him being administered to there by both the Madera and the Clovis West trainers. And I think, Mike, he just had the wind knocked out of him, although he is limping now on his left ankle, I believe, as they carry him off the field.
Let's hope it's nothing serious.
Let's hope it's an ankle and not a knee. But he appears to be moving fairly well under his own power. Maybe it's just a twist. Clovis West, on the other hand, has more of a problem than just a twist right now. They've got 4th and about 14, and they're going to have to punt it away from their own end zone. A lot of pressure on Paul Green, the punter, and he shanks the punt just a bit, but he gets a good bounce. And before Billy Gomes can get to it, the Green punt bounces out of bounds at about the 47-yard line. Call it the 46-yard line of the Golden Eagles. And this time, Madera gets it in great field position on the Clovis West 46. Madera
unable to make a run back on that kick there, just as well for Clovis. They're going to have to start at their own 45.
Russell Neal up the middle. So Brian Greer, the big horse of a running back from Madera, takes the Neal handoff, goes up the middle for almost 10, and so Greer picks up about 9. Last year, Mike, Greer 521 yards, among the Valley leaders in rushing. And as you were saying, not only a fine football player, but a good student, too, at about 3'8".
Something that the colleges are always looking for, Tony. A great athlete who's also a great student.
Madera with a single setback. That's Greer. Neal play fake to Greer, and he'll look long. He's got a man wide open out here, but the pass is underthrown and picked off by Lewis on a great leaping, diving effort by Brian Lewis to pull it down. It'll be Clovis West football on the 6-yard line. And a frustrating turn of events with Madera, as it looked like Madera might have a touchdown that time. Instead, Mike, as Frank Barbosa was wide open, the pass a little short, but credit Brian Lewis with a brilliant interception.
And you can see the team and the fans are very fired up about that one, Tony. Great play, as you said, for Clovis. This could turn this game around.
And Brian Lewis is only 5'4". Here's Bauer with the pitch to Barnes. Barnes fights for a couple before he's knocked off his feet by Elmer Parker and Number 5, Tom DeSilva, also in on that tackle.
This would be a good opportunity for Madera. A mistake on offense, perhaps, although that was a great interception. This is a chance for them to redeem themselves and hold Clovis right here.
Lewis,
West,
who made the interception, is in the ball game. Now he's a wide receiver. And here's Bauer looking across the middle, and he's got his big tight end, Green. Paul Green close to a first down, and we're going to have the signal that is a first down. So Clovis West getting them out of the hole just a bit. They'll have first down on the 17.
Success through the air, something that Madera is going to have to correct this year, Tony. We expounded on that a little bit earlier, saying that they had their problems last week versus Merced. You can bet, though, that their coach has got them thinking about that out there on the field, and look for them to be a little bit tougher this week.
Barnes, the tailback, as he and Lewis shuttle, and Barnes gets the football, and he goes up in the middle and is knocked down at about the 20-yard line. He gets a couple. It'll be second and about 7.5 for the Eagles on their own 20.
Barnes last week versus San Joaquin had 47 yards on 3 attempts, and in receiving with a 15.7 average. And Todd Barnes, the one I was originally going to talk about, in rushing, had 46 yards on 7 attempts. Average of 6.6 yards per carry.
Credit Scott Marsh with that last tackle. Second and 8, Bauer to throw. Look out. Down goes Bauer. As coming in is Jim DeSilva, one of the linebackers on a blitz, untouched. DeSilva blindsides him and knocks Bauer down at about the 13-yard line. And now Clovis West back in a hole, third and about 14. 2:33 and counting in the first quarter as we see Lewis leave and Barnes come back in with the play. It is 3-0 Clovis West over Madera. Here we go. Bauer single set back behind him, and he'll throw. Parker after him. He's got a tight end screen to Paul Green. Green to the 20, and out of bounds at the 27, close to a first down, and we'll see where they mark it.
Looks, Tony, as though they will be a bit shy of a first down here with 2:06 remaining here in the first quarter. Clovis West may be forced again to punt.
Coming up fourth and about a half a yard or so, and it will be a punt by Paul Green, and here's Green's boot. It's a low kick, and coming up to grab it on the fly is number 22, Frank Barboza. So Barboza knocked down at the 46, and again Madera in good field position, this time on their own 46.
Todd Barnes, Tony, coming up with the tackle there on that run back, a fine play, and he got him just before he can make any big mark on the run back.
First down for the Coyotes. They're on their own 46-yard line. Russell Neal giving it to Greer, and Greer bounces through, carries people forward to about the 48. He picked up about 5.
Craig Locke, number 87, the linebacker for Clovis West, making the tackle that time. Locke is 6'3", 190-pound senior for Clovis West, and he's making a big name in the linebacker position for the Eagles.
Greer got off so quickly in the snap count, I thought for a minute he might have jumped, but he must have got it right on the count, and he picks up 5. Second and 5. A little bit of confusion now as Greer will line up in a slot position with Lyons behind the quarterback, Neal. And here's Lyons with the ball, and Lyons is tunneling forward to about the 46. It'll be third and about 2 for Madera on the Clovis West 46-yard line.
For Clovis West, they had 2 tacklers, Brian Zimmerman and Jim Hendricks, both making that play. Some good defensive work thus far by Clovis West, although they are facing third and short right now. Tom
DeSilva leaves the ball game. Frank Barboza comes back in. Barboza, the one who was 5 yards out in front of the defensive back on that interception effort by Brian Lewis a while back, a pass that I'm sure quarterback Neal would like to throw one more time. Here's Greer, and Greer's got the first down and a lot more as he bangs down to the 36-yard line. It'll be a first down for the Coyotes in the Clovis West 36.
Number 23, Tracy Lujan, the defensive back, 5'6", 140-pound senior, in on the tackle, along with number 85, Paul Green. Also a defensive back, standing at 6'3", 215 pounds, a little bit bigger. And Madera will have a first down here.
First and 10 on the 36. Here's the ball to Greer, and here's Greer powering forward for about 5 more. And right now the Madera offensive line beginning to push around the Clovis West defensive line just a bit. And a little bit of a crack, and Greer's a tough man to bring down.
That's right, Tony. Madera offensive line preventing the Clovis West defensive line from getting any sort of type of penetration. And looks like we're going to be heading into the second quarter here as you see the teams begin to change sides.
That's right, Mike. At the end of one quarter of play, it's Clovis West 3, Madera nothing.
Tony, in the second quarter, I think we're going to see Madera stick to the ground. Right now, though, we're going to have a break. We'll be back in about a minute with Clovis West versus Madera.
The first down for Madera, and they're really moving it now.
Sorry, Tony, that was the first play of the second quarter. We've just started. Clovis West has a 3-0 lead here, but that may be in danger. Madera marching very effectively down the field. And as we said, staying on the ground. They've been doing a great job thus far, and I wouldn't be surprised if they kept it that way.
De Silva comes back in the ballgame. Out of the ballgame goes Barboza, and it's got to be a little depressing for the Clovis West team to watch Madera put it right up the gut. That's tough. No finesse here, just right up the middle. Strict power plays right up the gut. And here's a pitch now to Lyons. Lyons has got 1, maybe 2 yards before he's knocked off his feet. Well, I guess Brian Zimmerer on the tackle.
That's about the first time in about 6 or 7 plays that the Clovis West defense has been able to stop Madera. Madera marching very effectively on the ground, as we've been saying all along. They may go for a corner pass or something. It looks like there is a flag on the play.
And it's a major, too, and this might be a face mask. We'll see. Brian Zimmerer on the tackle. And we've got a face mask call. That's what it is. And it'll be first down and goal. The 9.5-yard line. I don't think it was Zimmerer who had the face mask. Zimmerer was behind him making the tackle. Not sure who it was with the face mask there for Clovis West, but it doesn't really matter. As far as Madera is concerned, it's a first and goal, and that's all that matters.
This is where the real mettle of a defense is tested, right here on the 5-yard line.
Well, they're on the 9.5. Greer, the single setback, and here's the pitch to Greer. And Greer barrels down to about the 6 where he dives. We'll see if they give him all that progress. As his knees appear to hit a little bit farther back than that, they will push it back to closer to the 7. So Greer gets about 3.
Brian Lewis, number 44 for Clovis West, making the tackle there. Defensive back, 5'4", 145-pound senior. And fine play, although he was not the first man to hit the running back. He did make the final tackle. Perhaps saved a touchdown.
Gomes, the single setback now as they move Greer into the slot on the left side. 2 wide receivers split out left, and here's the pitch to Gomes. He drops the football, and it's a race, and I believe quarterback Neal got on it before a defensive back for Clovis West could do so. No, he did not.
Looks, Tony, like number 40, John Martin, is starting off the field right now, though you can't see him. Came up with the fumble there. An important turnaround for Clovis West, and the breaks have been going their way so far as we're already into the second quarter, 9:55 left.
Well, Madera put it up the gut from their own 46 all the way down to the 9. Decided to go on the pitch out there, and Gomes just couldn't hang on, and it was a great effort by quarterback Neal to dive, and I thought he got back on it, but Martin beat him to it, and now Clovis West, first down on the 16. Here's a quick out pattern out of the hands of the receiver, Paul Green out there. Green doesn't like some of the treatment he received by the Madera defensive back. But no flags are thrown. It'll be second down on the 16.5, 17-yard line, 2nd and 10 for the Clovis West Golden Eagles.
And you know, Tony, there's nothing more discouraging for a team than to get down inside the 10-yard line, almost to the 5, and then have a little mistake cause a turnover, and all of a sudden you're on defense again.
Second and 10. Bauer to Barnes, and down goes Barnes as he's popped on a nice play. That's congratulations all around by Madera.
Making a fine tackle on that one, Tony, defensive end, 190-pound senior.
So after that Madera big defensive play, Clovis West coming up 3rd and 11, and Bauer rolls right, and he's in trouble. And Montagna has him, and down he goes in the 4-yard line. Ray Montagna in for the second time to bury the quarterback Bauer, and now Clovis West and their punter Green really going to have their backs against the wall, Mike. They're going to have 4th down on their own 4.
That's right, Tony. Montagna, Ray, defensive end, 209 pounds, I should say, versus Todd Bauer's 160 pounds. Bauer didn't have much chance of trying to get away from him. All he had to do was sit down, and it was all over with.
Bauer might have thought he weighed 290 there, the way he tugged him to the ground. Paul Green will boot it away. It's Gomes nearest to us. As Green boot a deep line drive, Barbosa, the other deep back, grabs it on his own 49. And he's moving to the left side, and he's got some room, and he moves across the 30 and out at about the 28-yard line, and Madera in great field position this time. 1st and 10 on the Clovis West 28.
Another great chance for Madera's offense here. They got stopped on the 5-yard line by that fumble. Come right back here with a great run back by Barbosa, and they're right back in business here. Look for them, Tony, to stay on the ground again. They had great success with that, even though they fumbled all the way down the field, and if they're smart, they'll stay on the ground again and try and put it right up the middle of Clovis West. It seems to be their most vulnerable part.
We've got a procedure call on the kick against Clovis West. Of course, Madera will decline that one. No way in the world the Coyotes are going to make them kick it again when they've got the ball down on the 20, call it the 29-yard line where they're going to spot it officially now. So Madera and quarterback Russell Neal will come up once more in an opportunity to either tie this 3-3 game or if they can push it in to take the lead. Here's the handoff to Lyons, and Lyons is stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
Number 54, Tony, Jim Hendricks, the defensive end, coming in with another tackle there, and he got great penetration that time, something that Clovis West defensive line has had trouble doing thus far in the game, and Hendricks doing a fine job this time.
Also credit Mark Chilgen, and Brian Zimmerer was stuffing that one so that the other Clovis players could come around to make the tackle, including Hendricks. Loss of 1.5 yards on that play. It'll be 2nd and about 11.5. So Madera tried to go up the middle, but this time it didn't work out. Neal to throw. Across the middle and over the head of his tight end, Kirk Saguspi. And it'll be 3rd and 11, and Madera's in a bit of a jam.
That's right, Tony. The Coyotes have got to get a little bit closer, even for a field goal attempt.
Be a 48-yarder from here.
You don't want to start outside the 30-yard for a field goal in high school. Nothing against the kickers, but they're really not that outstanding in the NYL, but they can boot them. 38 yards a little long for anyone.
Well, there's no question that 48 yards is a lot to ask of a high school kicker. This is probably 4-down territory. Greer and Lyons behind quarterback Neal. Neal looking right. He goes across the middle. Out of Saguspi's hands. And it's picked off down at the 3-yard line by Tracy Lujan. They'll spot it up at about the 6. It'll be 1st down for Clovis West after the Lujan interception.
That's right, Tony. That is just about as good as a punt. Number 23 coming up there with a great interception. Another fine turnover. How do I word this? Not a fine turnover for Madera, but a fine break for the Clovis West Eagles. And they're on the road again to an offense.
1st down on the 5. Here's a give up the middle and breaking tackles and moving out to about the 9, almost the 10-yard line was the up back on that play. Number 32, Von Essen.
If you're just tuning in, the score here is 3-0. We've got about 6:38 left till halftime.
Clovis West in the lead.
Clovis West in the lead. Don't let the score fool you. We've had a fine game thus far. Lots of offense, but those costly turnovers will hurt you every time.
2nd and about 5 on the 10, and here's the give to Von Essen again, and he's piled up after a couple of yards. They try to move it up the middle, not taking too many chances themselves, are the Golden Eagles. And it'll be 3rd and about 3 on the 11. Saying before, Mike, that 3rd down interception by Tracy Lujan was a nice one. But then again, from the Madera standpoint, even though it cost them 4th down, they would have certainly taken that as a punt had they decided to punt it. However, in Lujan's defense, not only was it a nice reception by him on the defensive end, but probably it prevented a 4th down and going for it situation, because I don't think Clovis West would have punted, or Madera would have punted. Here's the give to Von Essen, and Von Essen goes to about the 15-yard line, and he's very close to a 1st down. He broke a couple of tackles there, and a nice individual effort by Von Essen may have netted him a 1st down, and it does.
1st down for Clovis West. Scott Viva, the linebacker, first man to touch him. Number 34, Jim De Silva, also a linebacker, was the man to bring him down. De Silva, 165-pound junior. Look for him to do some big things at Madera, Tony.
Well, Von Essen's individual effort gives Clovis West a 1st down. It means that Green won't have to punt it out of the hole. 1st on the 15. Here's Bauer to Von Essen again, and Von Essen for 6. He moves up to the 21 as they continue to move against the flow that time, as the halfback Mike taking off either left or right while the pitch goes quickly up the middle to Von Essen.
Well, the running back could have walked through that hole, Tony. Clovis West offensive line doing a great job that time, blowing a wide hole for the running back, and he just kind of waltzed through and got some big yardage.
Clovis West going quickly, very little huddle now, only a couple of seconds in the huddle. They're up 2nd and about 4. And here's Von Essen again, and here's Von Essen piling to the 25, and he's going to be just a little short, I think, of another Clovis West 1st down. Well, they've marked it across the 25, and it will be a Clovis West 1st down. 2nd in a row as they begin to utilize their star running back, Ken Von Essen. Again, Barnes in the ball game and Lewis coming out. Mike, Clovis West is trying to catch Madera going against the flow as they're letting the tailback move out and trying to get the linebackers to shift out that way, and then they're hitting quickly up the middle with Von Essen, and he's such a powerful runner, any little crease, and he's got 4 or 5. There's a play fake to Von Essen, and down goes quarterback Bauer, as it looked like for the 2nd time a linebacker is coming to get him. This time it's the...
defensive back, number 20, Jim Kirk, in there on the blitz, and he came down with the quarterback in his arms after about 2 seconds. He was untouched as he ran across the line, Tony. A great blitzing effort there by Kirk. 5'11", 165 pounds, only a junior.
That was Phil Cheatham, Mike. Let's correct that. Here's Bauer. Going out to Green, and Green's got it, and a 1st down on the 33 before he's knocked off his feet by Gus Spratt, the defensive back.
Great reception.
Check that. It will not be a 1st down. He'll be a couple of yards short. It'll be 3rd and about 2.
Great reception there by number 85, Paul Green. Tight end, 6'3", 215 pounds senior. He's a big man out there, hard to tackle.
Third and 2. Bauer lofts a pass for Green, and Green turning around can't hang on to it. Good coverage by Jim De Silva out in the flat. Nice effort by Green, but he couldn't quite turn around, which is a very difficult thing to do, to turn around and still manage to hang on to the football.
So Green looked over one shoulder, had a man in his face, so he turned around, the ball was there, but he just couldn't get both hands up.
Well, Gomes and Barboza head back to field the punt of the same Paul Green, as it's 4th and about 2, and Green ready to boot it from his own 25. It's a low, long kick. Back goes Barboza to his 24 to take it. Barboza straight up the middle. We've got a flag as Barboza moves to the 46, and this one is probably going to go against the Madera Coyotes.
Try to tell me that flag falling down around the 36-yard line, and it looks like Madera won't have the great field position that they may have thought they have, and there it is, the call flipping against Madera.
Well, Madera's going to be moved back from what would have been the 46, probably to inside their 20. We'll see how far the walk-off goes. Just in front of the 20, be the 21-yard line where the Madera Coyotes will take over. Just 2:37 to go in the half, 3-0 Clovis West. And this may put Madera in a bit of a bind because they've had a lot of success running it right up the middle, but you're not going to be able to run it 79 yards in 2 minutes and 38 seconds unless somebody breaks a big one. So the 6 or 7 yards they were getting on that one series before the fumble by Gomes probably won't do them a lot of good because of the time element. 2:30 and ticking. Quarterback Neal has Lyons and Greer behind him. Here's the hand up the middle to Greer. And Greer moves forward for 4 or 5, but the clock continues to roll at 2:18. It'll be second and about 5. We'll give him more than 5. Let's give him 7. As Greer was able to stretch that long body, 6 foot 3 inches worth, a little bit farther than I had first thought.
Yeah, Tony, Madera's going to have to hurry up here on offense. They've only got, right now, 2:03 and counting, under 2 minutes by the time the ball's snapped. Look for them to either go to the sidelines with a pass or call timeout.
Give up the middle. This is Lyons with the football, and this is Lyons across for Madera, first down with 1:50 to go in the half. And now the Coyotes are going to very quickly get organized and try to get off a play or two very quickly here as the clock is at 1:48 as they stop it to move the chains, and now it'll start up again.
That's right, Tony. Madera saving themselves a timeout there by getting the first down. The clock will stop as it now begins to run. 1:40 left in the second half.
Lyons a single setback. You'll probably see a pass, and Neal's looking out in the flat, and he's got his man out at about the 44, 45-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds. That's number 30, Tony Tynan. Tynan moves it out to the 46. He's knocked out of bounds, and the clock stops with 1:28 to go. Nice play by Madera, good execution, and Tynan was able to haul his man out of bounds to stop the clock.
Brian Zimmer.
Well, I take it back. He was not out of bounds. Excuse me, Mike. Evidently, he was knocked out right in front of the Clovis West bench out of our view. They only stopped the clock to move the chains, and it's running again at 1:15. Neal looking again to that same man, Tynan. Tynan's got it, and he's knocked out at the 46. But I believe he is still in bounds once more, and the clock continues to run.
It would seem to me, Tony, that as soon as Tony Tynan would catch the ball, that he'd be trying to get out of bounds. But unfortunately, he's unable to do that. It's a timeout now for Madera. They're forced to call it. Twice Tynan has got the ball, and twice he's been kept inside by the tackle. And we've got 1:03 left to the end of the first half. Madera's going to have to strike long here. They're going to have to go for it all with 1:03 left.
Well, they've been moving the ball fairly well time-wise. They took over with 2:38 to go, and they were backed up deep after the clipping call on the punt. They've managed to move it now about 40 yards or so in about a minute and a half. They're in position where with 2 timeouts remaining, I believe, I'm not certain that they have 2. I believe the first timeout we had in the first quarter was called by Clovis West, so that should have been the first there by the Madera Coyotes. With 2 timeouts, they might have a chance to run a couple up the middle, and you know, in high school ball, clock stops when you get a first down and move the chains, and they're second in about 1.5 or 2. So they could take a chance with Greer Lyons maybe breaking one and figuring if he gets 2 yards, Mike, they're still going to have a chance to get back to the line while the clock is stopped to move the chains.
Speaking of breaking one, Madera's Lions broke one for 47 yards in the first quarter versus Merced last year for their first touchdown. So Lions has the ability to break it long.
Gomes, the single setback behind Neal. And Neal to throw. Neal looking deep, and his pass is thrown all the way out of bounds as he's looking for his intended receiver there, number 13, Ronald McCree, the sprinter. But the pass went out of bounds as Neal overthrew him by just a bit, and it'll be third in about 2 with 55 seconds to go in the half.
Tony McCree showing his speed there that time. He got out there very quick, looked over his shoulder, turned around, the ball was over his head, so he took off running, almost caught up to it even though the ball was out of bounds. Very fast receiver.
Yeah, you had to pull that one in about the concession stand, though, I think, going down. That was a good play by Madera, though, strategy-wise. They're still within reach of the first down here on 3rd and 2. Got a couple of timeouts left. If Greer can take a handoff and get the first down, they'll still have time to get a few more plays off. Neal will throw. Here's a little screen pass out here to Gomes. Gomes almost slips down. He moves forward and drops the football, and it's picked up there by number 13, McCree, and Madera will pick up another 5 or 6 yards, and they'll have a first down on the 36.
You get some free yardage there, Tony. Luckily for Madera, they were able to come up with the fumble. Otherwise, it might have been disastrous. But the clock was stopped because they had a first down, and that fumble just moved it ahead another 5 or 6 yards.
Another timeout by Madera. Gomes having a bit of problem tonight hanging onto the football. That's the second time it's managed to get away from him, and he's hurting a bit too, and that might be the reason. You can see Gomes is limping badly as he bounces off the field, Mike, and it might be that that's the problem as Lyons comes back in the ball game. Interesting play, though, for Madera, because McCree, with that great speed, had a shot there as he picked it up. Break a couple of tackles, as we see the scoreboard showing 45 seconds to go in the half. Break a couple of tackles, and it's all over with if he gets free. And that would have been some touchdown to see, huh? Fumble turned into a 45, 50-yard touchdown.
That's right, Tony. While we have time, I want to remind you to stick around at halftime. We will be having tape interviews and shows about each school, the Madera High School and Clovis West High School, both with some very fine traditions, and we'll be talking about that and more at halftime.
Well, with 45 seconds to go in the half, Russell Neal and company comes up first down on the Clovis West 37-yard line. And now they'll be sent back into the huddle once more, as I believe the officials' timeout is not quite over with. So we're ready to go now. Quarterback Neal back to throw. He's got his man, and knocked out of bounds is De Silva at about the 31, and let's see if he got out before his knee hit the ground. This time I believe he did, with 40 seconds to go, as he picks up about 5. And it'll be second and about 5 on the 31. Madera still with 40 seconds to go to try to post one before the half ends. They trail Clovis West 3-0 to the Coyotes.
Number 40, John Martin, and number 43, Todd Barnes, combining for the tackle there as De Silva was able to get out of bounds. A fine play for him. Still 40 seconds left to go, and they've only got 5 yards for another first down. They can go for that and try and stop the clock.
And Madera's going to have to hurry up here, because even though the clock isn't running, the time clock is, and they took a long time getting that play in. They get it off in time. Neal looking deep. His pass is going to be picked off, and it is. This looks like Lujan for the second time, and Lujan's got some room as he moves across the 40. Tracy Lujan still on his feet at midfield. And Tracy Lujan out of bounds on the 43-yard line with 22 seconds to go. The second interception of the quarter for Tracy Lujan, and a great, great return.
Great play there to fire up the crowd here at Darrell Lamonica Stadium. Clovis West coming up with another fine turnover. And, boy, Madera's just got to be heartbroken here in the first half. 2 scoring dives squelched by turnovers.
And better yet for Clovis West, Lujan brought it back so far, they can take some chances now with 22 seconds to go. They can go ahead and throw it across the middle. And that's what quarterback Bauer will do, and he's got Green. And Green has a first down on the 32-yard line with 16 seconds to go, and Bauer wants timeout. But with 16 seconds to go, things have turned drastically. Mike, last week we saw a game almost turn at the end of the half when Conrad Gonzalez picked up a fumble and raced 90 yards with it to make it 14-10 in that Bullard ball game. Here we saw Madera moving down to possibly tie it or take the lead, and all of a sudden, with 16 seconds to go after the Lujan interception, Clovis West a chance to take.
As we said, 3-0, Clovis West leading, but don't let that fool you. We've had plenty of excitement and lots of offense here in this first half. It just seems that every time Madera gets down in scoring position, something happens and the ball goes the other way. Clovis West now with an excellent opportunity. They could punch this one in with time running out, and they could theoretically go up 10-0 at halftime. A big boost for the Eagles.
Well, Madera's been chewing it up between the 10s. The problem has been when the ball moves across the 10-yard line, either on the ground or through the air, somebody seems to get in the way of it. Lujan has done it twice. Lewis did it on that great interception in the first quarter. We had the fumble by Gomes that was picked up by Clovis West. All those plays inside the 10. First down on the 32. Bauer with a single set back behind him. That's Von Essen. Bauer across the middle to Von Essen. And Von Essen spurts across the 20 to the 19, 7 seconds, 6, 5 seconds, and Clovis West will take another timeout with 5 seconds to go.
Another first down.
And we'll see if they bring in their field goal kicker, Jim Kirk, to give this one a shot, and they will. Jim Kirk will come in and try a 37-yard field goal from the left hash mark. He already has one from 34 for the only score of tonight's game, and he'll try this one from 37.
This will be a decent sized field goal if he can punch it through. Kirk showed he can get it from 34. See if he can do it from 3 yards back. Clovis West could go up 6-0.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. That 34-yarder had plenty on it, so I don't think distance is a problem. Last time from the right hash mark, this time from the left. Bauer puts it down. The boot is strong, but it's wide to the left. And that'll do it for the first half as Jim Kirk misses from 37 yards. But at halftime, Clovis West still with the lead, 3-0 over Madera.
Okay, Tony, we've had a very exciting first half here. Okay, and we're going to go to a break right now. We've got a score here at halftime. Clovis West 3, Madera 0.
We will have a ball game between Roosevelt and Edison, a game that will be played a week from tonight at Ratcliffe Stadium. Started to say, though, Coach Fink, I think, well, he might be a little bit frustrated by the score. Has to be happy with the fact that if his team can just control their own housekeeping, as it were, Mike, and hang on to the football, that they've got a great chance to win this football game, because Clovis West has not pushed them around the field tonight. Quite the contrary. And they're down only 3, and so as we count it down, just a few seconds away from the second half, the Madera Coyotes come out here down 3-0 to the Clovis West Golden Eagles. And I hope we have as exciting a second half as we did a first, even if no more points are scored in this football game.
That's right, Tony. As we said, the balls were flying in the air in the first half, and Madera coming up on the short end, but this game is by no means out of reach for anybody. 3-0 the score, and easily attainable for any offense. If they can just put any points at all on the board, it'll be a plus for Madera. All they have to do is concentrate and hold on to that ball inside the 20-yard line, something that they've had trouble doing. And to see if they can remedy that jitteriness here in the second half as the crowd rises for the kickoff.
Jim Kirk ready to boot it away. Clovis West moving from your left to your right as you view it on your picture tube. Back deep, Gomes and Chuck Lyons, the running backs, to receive the kick. The low kick bounces short, taken in the wedge there. And down is De Silva at the 35-yard line. Excuse me, that's Tony Tynan with the football. Tony Tynan takes it to the 35 as he was the short man in the wedge. Picks it off, and at the 35.5-yard line, that's where the Madera Coyotes will start the first possession of the second half.
And as the referee signals for the clock to start rolling, Jeff Tives, number 35 for Clovis West, in on that tackle. 5'9", 165-pound senior. Madera on the offense. This is a key set of downs for them.
Greer and Lyons behind the quarterback, Neal. Neal to Lyons. And Lyons sheds a few tacklers and moves it up about 3.5 to 4 yards. It'll be second and a little over 6 for the Madera Coyotes at their own 39-yard line.
Mark Chilgen, outstanding defensive tackle for Clovis West, in on that play, 6 foot tall, 185-pound senior. Chilgen is one of the mainstays in that Clovis West line.
Second and a little over 6. Again, twin tight ends and a single wide receiver. And here's the give up the middle. And stop there after about 1.5 yards or 2 yards is the up man in the Madera offense. And that's Chuck Lyons.
Once again, Mark Chilgen along with number 40, Eric Martin, in on the play. Both seniors for Clovis West. They have a host of seniors here on their defensive alignment, and they've been doing a fine job thus far keeping Madera scoreless, although Madera's been contributing a lot of that on their own on offense with some turnovers.
Third and about 5 as Lyons got about 1.5 yards from the 40-yard line. Neal back to throw. He dumps it out to Lyons. Lyons has got it, and Lyons dives toward the yardstick at about the 45 and a half, and it's going to be close, and I believe they gave him a spot that will give them a first down. And the Clovis West players don't like it very much.
I was just about to say the same thing. Clovis West players holding their arms up in the air. They're a little perturbed with the referee's call, but it looked like he had the best angle on it. He was right there next to him. We'll give the referee the benefit of the doubt this time. First and 10 for Madera. They're doing a fine job. They had been sticking with the ground plays, running it up the middle and around the ends. This time they went out to the flat on a pass and worked very effectively for them.
Well, you can bet that Coach Newberry made some adjustments about that Madera running game up the middle. The middle might not be there as much as it was before. Here goes Lyons again, and up the middle goes Lyons, and all the way to the 41 of Clovis West goes Chuck Lyons, and it's a first down for Madera, and they're at it again. Let's see if they don't self-destruct as they get closer to the goal line this time.
That's right, Tony. Chuck Lyons showing why he's one of the best running backs this year in the NYL. He's explosive speed, and he can find that hole easily. When the Madera offensive lineman can open a hole as big as that, seems like any running back would be able to find that one. But Chuck Lyons can make the best of it.
It's Lyons and Greer, the split backs behind Neal. There's a give up the middle, and for a couple of yards goes Greer this time. So Greer gets a yard, maybe two. It'll be second and a little over 8.
Greer ran into his own man that time. By the time he got away from him, Greg Locke, number 87 for Clovis West, came up with a tackle. Locke is a big man, as you can see. Number 87, 6'3", 190 pounds.
Tom Da Silva out of the ball game. Frank Barboza comes in. He's a wide receiver. He's split left, McCree right, single tailback. That is Greer, and here goes Greer up the middle. And Greer, I believe, has staggered forward for 3 or 4 before he's knocked off his feet. It's hard to see exactly where they're going to spot this one. They spotted it about the 38, 37-yard line. It'll be third down and a little over 5.
But they were very consistent with that running game. Seems like they'll go with it just about anywhere. Right now, they've got third and about 7. See if they go to the air.
Here's a broken play, I believe, and Neal has to keep the football, and down he goes at the 35. It'll be fourth down and about 3. It looked like they wanted to run an option play that time, but one of the halfbacks, or Neal himself, went the wrong direction. So Jim Hendricks knocks him down. Madera's in, I believe, field goal territory, possibly. I just saw the tee come out on the field. That would be quite a field goal attempt. It can't be. I believe they're going to go for it here on 4th and 3.5 or so.
That's what it looks like, Tony.
For a minute, I was a bit surprised because, as you did, Mike, also saw the tee come out on the field. 4th and about 3, Neal to throw. Neal looking out in the flat here. His pass is overthrown as he tries to reach Tony Tynan, and the Clovis West Eagles will take over on downs. I don't exactly know what that was that Neal tossed on the field with him, but for all the world, it looked like a tee, and that would have been about a 55-yard field goal attempt. I would have liked to have seen that one.
Russell Neal may not have realized how far back they were. He ran over the sideline, picked up the tee, and threw it out onto the field. Then he walked back out to the huddle, and it went back to the sideline.
Or it might have been something else. It might have been a chunk of grass or something, but it sure looked like the tee. Anyway, Clovis West has the football back, regardless of what it was. Madera didn't pick up the first down. First down, Golden Eagles in the 36. Here's a give to Von Essen, and Von Essen for just a couple where he's stacked up at about the 38-yard line. Barnes back in the ballgame. Lewis comes out as a tailback for Clovis West. Continue to shuttle the plays into quarterback Bauer. Todd Bauer's the quarterback. Behind him, Ken Von Essen, the fullback. And right now, Todd Barnes is the tailback, and he's split as a flanker to the left side. A quick pass out to Green, but first we've got a whistle, and in too much time will be called on the Golden Eagles.
Clovis West taking a long time to call that play, Tony. It cost him here. He had second down and 8. It'll be substantially longer this time.
And the tough break for the Eagles on that play is that was one of their gadget plays that was a quick look out to the tight end over here. And you don't like to see that one show to the other team on a play that doesn't even count. That's one of the formations that can confuse a few people. And Paul Green's an excellent runner, but the play was shown without any result whatsoever because the whistle had already blown. And it's second down now and about 12. Bauer to throw. He's looking for Green. Passes just over Green's hands at about the 45, and it'll be third and long for the Golden Eagles in their own 33.
Paul Green, number 85, a tall man, but unfortunately the pass was a little taller than him. Green 6'3", and he can get up there. Pass a little bit high, and Green unable to come down with it. It'll be third down for Clovis West.
Again, Brian Lewis checks out, and Todd Barnes checks in the tailback position. Tough job here for Bauer. He's got third and about 12. Looking for Green again. His pass is grabbed by Green. Great effort by Paul Green, but he's pulled down about a yard short of a first down.
An outstanding catch there, Tony, by Paul Green. One-handed grab, and unfortunately, Green was not able to make it to the first down. Clovis West looks... Well, I thought at first that they may be going for it. I'm not sure now.
So did quarterback Todd Bauer. Todd Bauer was ready to go ahead and give it a run, fourth and about a yard. But he had to hit the brakes and head back to the sideline. The final vote goes to Coach Newberry, and he said, we're going to kick it. And Paul Green will kick it. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe Paul Green won't kick it. We'll see. Back deep to Sylvan Gomes, and Green will not kick it. And Green, I don't believe, is going to make it.
It's going to depend, Tony.
This is a tough spot.
It's going to depend, Tony, on where the referee places the ball, and he signals first down.
That was a strange play because it looked to me like Paul Green, if he stayed inside, had it easily. He chose to stop and juke somebody looking for an area when I thought he could just run over somebody, but he got it there, and there are a whole bunch of blue jersey people out here from Madera who don't agree with that.
That's right, Tony. Paul Green, 6'3", 215, could easily have just run over somebody and tried to work his way around him. Maybe not have picked up as much yardage as he wanted to, but he got enough for a first down. Close play for Clovis West, but a very well executed one.
And for Paul Green, he got the first down, and that's all that counts. Green in motion. And now Bauer wants to time out. Something not quite right. So quarterback Todd Bauer ahead of the sideline. First down for Clovis West on their own 46. We have 6:01 to go in the third quarter. Still Clovis West 3, Madera nothing. It's been that way ever since the Jim Kirk field goal in the first quarter from 34 yards out. As you see Max Newberry and Todd Bauer conferring on the sideline.
That's right, Tony. Bauer may have either had a problem with communication on the player. He may have just seen a defense for Madera that he didn't like, and a lot of times the quarterbacks will call a timeout and go over and discuss that with the coach. It looks like he's back from the huddle now, just about ready to go.
That looked to be the case. It looked as though he saw a defense he didn't care for, but this would be a rather peculiar time to call a timeout, a 1st and 10, unless they had something a little tricky planned for that down. Coaches hate to see you use up a timeout in a 3-0 game, but I'm sure that Bauer saw something he didn't like, or maybe somebody was in the wrong formation and he didn't want to start 1st and 15. Be that as it may, it is first down now. Todd Bauer back to the line. And here's the give to Von Essen, and Von Essen knocked off his feet after a yard gain. And that was Gomes on the tackle there, coming up from his cornerback position to knock Von Essen off his feet after just about a half a yard gain. He's 2nd and 9.5. As Lewis again out and Barnes back in. And now you see that the quarterback, Bauer, is beginning to meet the halfback a little bit closer to his team on the sideline so he can get the play call just a little bit sooner so they don't have that problem of the 25-second clock running out on him. In motion comes Clark. Back to pass is Bauer. He's got Barnes, and Barnes can't quite hang on, and he had a few yards to run if he could have held on to the football.
Yeah, Tony, he had all kinds of open room there over on the left side of the field. And he would have had a first down easily and plenty more if he could have just kept the ball in his hands. Unfortunately, things sometimes go that way. We've got about 5:16 left here in the third quarter. Score is still 3-0. Still plenty of offense out there, but both teams unable to get it across. Third and long now for Clovis West. We'll see if they'll put it in the air again.
Third and about 9.5. Lone setback is Von Essen. Barrow will put it up, and he's looking for Green. He's going deep to Green, and it's knocked away there on a nice effort by the defensive back for Madera. Number 24, Phil Montagna, the brother of Ray Montagna, the defensive lineman who has caused so much trouble for Bauer on a few passing situations.
Madera's defense hanging tough here. Clovis West has 4th and long, and it appears as though Green will be back to punt again. I don't think, Tony, that he'll try and run this one.
No, I don't think so either, and I'm not going to try to predict this one either. Another line drive kick. And up to get it is Barbosa. Barbosa breaks a couple of tackles, and now he's peeling left, where he's met by a phalanx of Clovis West Eagles at the 30-yard line. Had my mind about 45 miles south of here, as a matter of fact. Which it frequently is 45 miles and more south of just about anywhere I am. It's first down on the 30 for the Madera Coyotes.
Madera Coyotes with 4:55 left here, Tony, in the third quarter. They're going to have to get something on the board. They're down 3-0. And any score would be a plus for them.
Put that last tackle to Scott Brennan on the punt. Here's a give to Lyons. And Lyons is grabbed by the ankles and knocked down on a fine play by Mark Chilgen, the nose tackle for Clovis West. Only about a yard does Lyons get on that play. It'll be second and about 9.
Can't say enough about Chilgen, Tony. He's an outstanding lineman. Him and Mark Milanovich, both types of top-flight linebackers. They could be a strong force this year for Clovis West.
Well, Chilgen and Gingold have been really stuffing the middle from the left and right side of center. In the ballgame is Hernandez, the quarterback. Here's his pass out in the flat, and that's caught by De Silva. And De Silva breaks a couple of tackles, but I believe they've ruled him out of bounds at the 49-yard line, but he'll have a first down. Rick Hernandez has come in the ballgame to play quarterback, as they've decided they'll go away from the running quarterback, Neil, more to the thrower, Rick Hernandez. And Hernandez hooks up with De Silva, and the Madera Coyotes have a first down just in Clovis West territory at the 49.
Great pass play there from Madera, who has been sticking mainly with the ground. They switched the things around here, and Clovis West secondary will be on the run now.
Rick Hernandez is a 165-pound senior. Here's a pitch to Greer, and Greer is going absolutely nowhere as flags fly. And Greer is knocked down around the 46 or 47-yard line of Madera.
A couple people in on the play.
Leaving.
As I was going to say, Tony.
The contingent there on the tackle, Mike.
Yeah. Along with Kevin Emo.
And it's a shift penalty against Madera, and Clovis West will decline that and take the loss, of course, because the loss is about 5 yards itself. It'll be second about 15.
Clovis West defense has really changed things around here on the run. In the first half, Madera seemed like anytime they put it on the ground, they could gain yards. And thus far, the pass has really been what's keeping them going here in the third quarter, second half.
Well, that pitch to Greer fooled nobody, illegal shift or no. Second and 15, Hernandez back to throw. He lost it out for De Silva, and De Silva's got it, and he's out of bounds at about the 48. And that'll bring him to about 3rd and 9 there as De Silva picks up most of the yardage and a little bit more than they lost on that last play. But it'll still be 3rd and long on the 48.
Yeah, De Silva got back to about the original line of scrimmage, Tony, maybe a little bit farther than that, a couple of yards. And for Madera's 3rd down, it looks like they may have to go to the air again, although they didn't show that in the first half. 3rd and long, they were tending to go with the run anyway. but they've got a good passer in there, and look for him to possibly put it up.
Well, one thing about the first half, they didn't have a lot of third and longs. Most of their problems were created by themselves. This half now, they're in a bit of a problem here. It's third and about 8.5. Hernandez has Tynan split out wide to the left, and Hernandez will roll that way. And he lobs across the middle. This pass is short, but it's grabbed anyway. A great grab by number 41, Greer, coming out of the backfield, and Greer's got it down to the 21-yard line. Just a brilliant catch by Brian Greer.
Greer stole that one away from another interception there as they came close. And what a fine reception for the Madera Coyotes. And once again, they're down just about inside the 20-yard line. This is where they've had most of their problems, Tony, as far as scoring. And we'll see if they can hold on to the football now.
That was not a real great pass. It was a little bit shy as Greer goes up the middle. And Greer bangs down inside the 15 to about the 14. Madera's got it second about 3. Saying about Greer, that was not that great a pass by Hernandez the last time down. As a matter of fact, it probably should have been kicked off if not for Greer's strength. Greer just took it right away from the defensive back. And then he turns right around and grabs 7 yards, 6 yards up the middle here.
Greer, Tony, I was going to say, Greer really went up in the air to get that one. He went over the defender. And for a person weighing 217 pounds, he can really jump.
Not only that, but he was able to control his body. He was spinning away from the pass originally. In motion comes Barboza. Here's a give to Greer again. And Greer taking people along for a ride, and before he's thrown down, Brian Greer has got a first down at around the 10-yard line. Paul Green was taken for a ride that time, a big guy himself, by Greer, and before Green could throw him down, Greer had picked up a first down right around the 10. Here's a give up the middle and bouncing down to about the 6-yard line, maybe a little short of that. I believe that might be Greer again.
Three tacklers, Tony, in on that one. Tony Tynan, number 30, along with, that was Brian Zimmer, number 30 for Clovis West, along with Mark Miladovich and Mark Chilgen. Miladovich coming over the top.
That might have been Lyons on that play. Very tough to see from here. Here's a give to Greer. And Greer is stonewalled right at the line of scrimmage on a nice effort by the Clovis West defensive line, led by Chilgen.
Okay, Tony, this is it for Madera. This is where they've had their problems all along in the first half. Third down, goal to go. They cannot get a first down. They're right at the goal line, so they've got to go for broke here. Look for them to try and throw it in the corner if they're going to go with a throw. The run, they may try and punch it right up the middle. They've had a lot of success with that.
It's third about 5. We'll see if Hernandez rolls out to try to get away from some of the pressure. He has Greer and Lyons behind him. Hernandez in trouble. Hernandez rolling left. Hernandez in big trouble. And down goes Hernandez as Brian Zimmer collars him at the 12-yard line. And this time Madera didn't fumble it away, but Clovis West has held him out of the end zone once more.
Madera's defense was getting pushed around there by Madera's offense until they got down to the 5-10-yard line. And then they hung tough, and there was no way Madera was going to get in that time.
It'll be about a 30-yard field goal attempt coming up here by Bill Parkhurst, the 230-pound place kicker of the Madera Coyotes. Most place kickers you see are around 5'6", 130, 140 pounds in high school, not Parkhurst. Parkhurst is the side of a building. And here's his boot. It's strong enough, but it's wide to the right. So Bill Parkhurst soccer styles one and pushes it just a little bit right. And with 11 seconds to go in the third quarter, it's still Clovis West 3, Madera nothing, and what has to be the most exciting 3-0 game ever played in high school football.
I can't believe it. We've got 11 seconds left in the third quarter, and we're used to seeing more action than most games that we've been here with. And Clovis West hanging tough. A couple of missed field goals have been the story of this game.
Bauer with the pitch. That's Lewis. And Lewis has got some room. And Brian Lewis goes for a first down, and that was a touchdown-saving tackle by Montana, or off to the races. We were going to see Brian Lewis going.
Yeah, if Montana had made that tackle, Tony, Lewis could have had lots of more room to go as they're about ready to switch halves now. But he could have gone 70 more yards for a touchdown easily if Montana hadn't come up with that.
Well, that's the end of the third quarter. And at the end of 3, it's Clovis West 3, Madera nothing.
Clovis West now at the opposite end of the field. At the 30-yard line. They're going to have to score here. We're into the fourth quarter. 3-0 is not a lead, Tony, that you like to have going in here. But it's enough right now. You never know what Madera can do. Anytime they get the ball, they can score. They've shown that if they can just get the right breaks.
Shows you the strength of the defenses of these two teams. Last week, Clovis West scores 41 points against San Joaquin Memorial. Madera scored 29 points in a losing effort to Merced High School tonight. Only 3 points on the board after 3 quarters of play. Here's Bauer up the middle to Von Essen. Von Essen breaks a couple of tackles and gets it to the 35-yard line. It'll be second in about 6.5.
Looked only like number 84, John Velasco, along with Cheatham for Madera, coming up with that play. And as we said, the defensive teams have hung tough for both Clovis West and Madera thus far. 2nd and 7 now. We'll see how Madera hangs this time.
Clark comes wide left. We've got an I formation this time. And Bauer with the pitch to Lewis. And Lewis flying through the air as he goes across the 40 and very close to a Golden Eagle first down. And it will be a Golden Eagle first down on their own 41. Because of all the running plays tonight, a very fast ball game. Already in the fourth quarter, it seems like we just got here. Bauer up the middle to Von Essen. And Von Essen gets about back to the line of scrimmage before Big Elmer Parker shuts that play down.
Yeah, Tony, Von Essen didn't get a whole lot of yards that time, but last week he sure picked up a lot. He had 136 yards rushing on 15 attempts with a 9.1 yards per rush average. Well, he's the 9th best rusher ranked thus far in the Valley.
He lost a yard on that one as Velasco and Parker shut him down. Here's a play fake, and across the middle, Green's got it. And before the Madera defensive back can knock down Mr. Paul Green, he's got a first down as Vince Saucedo hangs on for dear life to stop Paul Green from going a substantial distance farther. He's got a first down as Vince Saucedo hangs on for dear life to stop Paul Green from going a substantial distance farther. But it's a first down.
Tony, Gus Spratt just about had him there, and Green just totally ran the guy right over. He didn't have a chance.
And Vince Saucedo saved the day that time by hanging on to the big tight end. Here's the pitch back. And Von Essen moving nicely from the tailback position this time. We've seen him up in the fullback position most of the evening. And he brings it out to about the 44-yard line, maybe the 43, and he picked up a good 5 yards on that carry.
Clovis West is marching again, and they've been doing it all night, although the score may not show it. Both teams are tough inside the 20.
And now Von Essen back in the fullback position, that time running out of a tailback set. He's in the backfield, split backs with Lewis. Here's a give to Von Essen. And Von Essen is stood up by the Madera defense. Led by number 41, Brian Greer, his opposite number on the offensive end for the Madera Coyotes.
Also, Billy Gomes in there on the tackle for Madera. Their defense was looking run all the way, Tony. They were up on the line and ready to move in. They obviously knew that Clovis West was going to stick with the run on offense, and they guessed right this time. We're heading toward the 9-minute mark. 9 minutes and 10 seconds. The clock still counting down in the fourth quarter.
Clovis West leading 3-0. They have a third and about 7. There's a quick out pattern to Green. Green beats his man, 40. And Paul Green might be off for the races. Knocked off his feet by Montagne at the 10-yard line. Call it the 9. It'll be first and goal for the Clovis West Golden Eagles. As Bauer to Green burns the Madera defense on a third down.
Tony, that's the play that we saw Clovis West try earlier. There was a penalty on the play, so they never got the play off. But it looks like a good one. Green, big man. He's got outstanding speed, though, boy. Once he gets started, he's tough to bring down.
Very tough when you put a man that big out on a quick out pattern like that. First and goal. Here's a pitch back to Lewis. Lewis moving left. And he's knocked down about the 7-yard line. Nice play by Tom De Silva.
Tony, I'm really impressed with the running of Brian Lewis today. Lewis came in 5'4", 145 pounds, but he makes that frame work for us. He really can, he's really a speedster out there, and he can find the open slot easily. That time he dove for about 2 or 3 yards, and fine running back for Clovis West.
Second and goal at about the 8. Barnes back in the ballgame. Lewis out. In motion goes Clark. Here's a give to Barnes, and Barnes brings it into about the 4-yard line before he's rode down. By the middle of the Madera defense, and specifically number 59, Anthony Gallegos.
Here we have it again, Tony. Both Clovis West and Madera's offense have been good getting the ball down to scoring position. The defensive teams have held tough, though. See if Clovis West can pull it out here.
Third and goal at the 4. Bauer play fake. He's in trouble, and now his pass is underthrown as he looks for Clark in the corner of the end zone, and he can't reach him. So Bauer goes for Joe Clark in the corner of the end zone, but he can't quite reach him. And it'll be 4th down, and we'll probably see the field goal team for Clovis West.
I tell you, Tony, if Bauer had seen number 28, Joe Clark, there about 10 seconds earlier, they would have had a touchdown. He was open all the way, and Bauer just didn't have time to see him. He was on the run.
Well, now here's something interesting. I thought, as I think that most people, that with a 4th and goal at the 4, that Clovis West would probably go ahead and kick the field goal because their defense has played so well at keeping Madera out of the end zone. But evidently, Coach Newberry doesn't want to take that chance, and they've called timeout at the Golden Eagles. And Newberry's in the huddle now with his club, and they're, for all intents and purposes, Mike, saying we have got to have more than 3 here because they're going to go for it.
The thing is, Tony, if you don't make it, that's all you've got is 3.
But
so
then again,
he's really discussing it with his team. They're trying to decide what the heck to do. He wants to tell his players what to do.
Well, they're going to go for it. There's no question about it. They wouldn't have wasted a timeout. But I'm sure that his attitude is going to be, if we don't make it, we're going to leave Madera 96 yards or so from the goal line. But I'm frankly very surprised that from 4 yards away they'd go, because they're probably going to have to go either on a wide pitch or a pass play, and Madera knows it. And so it's going to be tough to get it outside those linebackers, I'm sure.
They cannot get a first down. It's 4th and goal. Going for it all right here, and they're coming out pumped up.
7:28 to go. It's Barnes, the tailback, Von Essen, the fullback now Barnes in a flanker position. In motion comes Clark. Bauer looking across the middle. He's got Green, and Green's got a touchdown, Clovis West. You had to know who they were going to, Mike.
Number 85, Paul Green. The story of today's game. He's done it all today.
Last week we saw the Kirk Gregory show for Bullard. This week we're seeing the Paul Green show. He was responsible for almost all the yardage when he took that quick out pattern and moved it down into scoring position, and he makes the clutch 4th down grab. Here's the boot by Kirk. It's low, and he misses it to the left, and so it's 9-0 with 7:24 to go. The Golden Eagles over the Coyotes. Great execution on that play by the entire Clovis West offensive team.
Excellent, Tony. Excellent execution. And Bauer just dropped back a step, looked right over the middle, and put it up over the defensive men, and they didn't have a chance.
And you knew that Coach Dennis Fink and the Madera Coyotes were looking for only one man across the middle, and that was Paul Green, yet nobody could stay with Green.
We've been saying it all night long. We're 6'3", 215 pounds, and you've got the speed.
And the hands. That pass was out on his fingertips, and he pulled it in without any problem whatsoever, and that is probably the play of the ball game right there.
I think Green is going to be real super for Clovis West this year if he can keep up the performance that he's done tonight.
Paul Green is a senior, and I imagine there are several hundred colleges drooling, thinking about the possibilities of Paul Green playing football for them for the next 4 years. Here's a boot by Kirk. This one will come deep to Lyons, 5 yards deep, and Lyons won't run it out.
Tremendous kick.
Well, now with 7:24 to go after that great kick by Kirk, thinking to see a change of strategy now. I'm sure Hernandez is going to stay in the ball game, and Madera is going to have to put it up.
That's right. Tony, Madera may be on their way to their second defeat in a row. They lost handily to Merced last week, 40-29. They did put 29 points on the scoreboard, but evidently it wasn't enough. They came into today's game ranked number 9, Clovis West number 10. That may switch after today's game.
Hernandez is the quarterback. Behind him is Greer, who's got the football, and Greer bounces forward for about 4 to the 24. But that's not going to do it for Madera. They're going to have to take in a bigger chunks than 4 yards because there's just a little over 7 minutes and still ticking down to go in this ball game, and Madera needs 2 scores.
That's right, Tony. Madera's been doing great on the ground, but there's not a play in football that'll put 9 points at one time on the scoreboard. Madera's got to score twice, and they're under 7 minutes right now. They've got to do it in a hurry.
One thing, too, is that Brian Greer's a fine runner, but he's not a breakaway runner. Lyons is the breakaway runner. If they're going to run, you're probably going to see Lyons with the football more. They're going to pass. Hernandez back to throw. This pass is batted and picked off by Zimmerer. Zimmerer's at a 30. We got a flag down as Zimmerer takes it inside the 20. Probably a clip on Clovis West. But the interception is going to stand, and Clovis West is going to be in great field position.
Number 53 for Madera, Steve Dominici. And number 41, Brian Greer, coming up with the tackle.
It was a clip.
And a clip, as Tony says.
So instead of having the ball on the 18-yard line, Clovis West is going to have it closer to their own 43 or 4, or excuse me, the Madera 43 or 44, but it's going to be their football. The walk-off is going to bring the ball all the way to midfield, and that's where the Clovis West, Clovis West Golden Eagles will take it again. That's twice tonight for me. Maybe I ought to just move to Visalia and get it over with. Golden West is a fine football team and a great pancake house, Mike.
Okay, Tony, 9-0 here. Clovis West with the ball. We'll be
That's right.
About ready to start play again.
From midfield. Here's the pitch to Lewis. Lewis for a yard, maybe 2, before he's stopped by Brian Greer.
Okay, no problem.
Brian Greer making that last stop. About a yard for Lewis. It's second and about 9, under 6 minutes to go in the game. 9-0 Clovis West. There's a quick look over to Clark, just off his hands, and it's going to be 3rd and 9, and that'll stop the clock with 5:50 to go.
Clovis West here, Tony, if they can get a first down, I think we'll be content on grinding on the clock. If they can score, all the better, but they would rather do it with time running out than to give Madera a chance, because anything can happen, really, in high school football, and that's something Clovis West has got to think about.
Here we go, 3rd and 9. Bauer to throw. Looks over the middle. He's got Von Essen over here, and Von Essen drops the football, and let's see if they've called it a completion or not. They rule it a completion and the ball dead, and it'll be 4th and about 4.
Okay, Tony, we've got to take time out right now to get a break. We'll come back with 5:30.
Have a flag as Neal is going to be buried there. Moving too quickly was McCree. The flag is going to be against Madera, and it's going to be declined, and it's going to be a big loss for the Coyotes, and they're really in the soup now.
Tony, I think we can sum up this game by just saying this has not been Madera's day. Every time they got into scoring position, it seemed like something went wrong, a fumble, a turnover, penalties. It's just all been going against with them. And it's something that, for a coach, execution is mainly the word, being able to hang on to the ball. It's just one of those things that happen. For Madera, they've got to, if they lose this game, got to blank it out of their mind, come back firing next week.
Neal back to throw. His pass is out to Lyons, and Lyons has nowhere to go. He shakes a couple of tackles, but down he goes. That was Matt Miladovich coming in to knock Chuck Lyons to the turf at about the 19.
I was going to say, it's going to be third and long for Madera. They've got to put it up. Clovis is going to be expecting that. Clovis West's defense has just been swarming on the field. They're really pumped up. They want to win this game. As I said, they're ranked number 10, while Madera's number 9. They came in knowing that if they won this, they'd move up in those polls.
Let's make that Marco Miladovich, not Matt Miladovich. 3:57 to go in the game. It's 9-0, the Clovis West Golden Eagles over the Coyotes of Madera High School. This the opener for both clubs of the North Yosemite League season. Both in the Valley top 10. Heading into tonight's game, Madera at number 9, Clovis West at number 10. And you can bet on the basis of this performance that the Golden Eagles are moving up.
There's a shot of the Clovis West fans, and they brought plenty of them here today. You see the shot of the clock there, 3:57 remaining in the fourth quarter, 9-0, Clovis West on top.
Of course, a lot of the Clovis West student body is actually housed in Fresno districts because the school itself, Clovis West, is actually in Fresno, but they don't have that long a trip to get over here. And they are here en masse, and not a bad crowd either from Madera, which is a little over 20 miles away. They just got a couple of sections on the end, not quite filled. Let's take a look at the Madera huddle. The Coyotes in big trouble here. They've got third and a whole bunch. Third and about 18. And I think they've taken too much time, or they called the timeout. I believe Neal, as we see the referees check with one another, believe that Neal didn't like what he saw, so he has to take a timeout, and that hurts Madera even more.
Yeah, Tony, we're talking about the big crowd that Madera brought along. You should see the Clovis West crowd. Madera brought a lot of fans. They've got a fine tradition. We've been saying this all along. Madera always has a strong football team. They have another one this year. I've said in the past, they've had, over the past 5 years, a record of 35 wins on only 15 losses. That's outstanding for any school, and you can bet that they're going to be strong. They've got to play McLean next week. That's at Madera, and whenever you're playing in Madera, you've got to watch out.
The rest of the schedule next week, on the 29th, next Thursday, Clovis West is at Bullard. That ball game will be at McLean Stadium. We'll see if the Clovis West Golden Eagles are as impressive tonight or as impressive next Thursday as they are tonight. Sanger is at Clovis. That ball game here at La Monica Stadium next Friday night. Roosevelt and Edison at Ratcliffe. We'll have that one. Fresno and Hoover at McLean, and of course McLean at Madera. Here we go. Neal's pass is intercepted across the middle. This could be a Clovis West touchdown. Knocked out of bounds on the 9-yard line is number 40, John Martin. John Martin with his second brilliant defensive effort of the night, and the fourth interception by the Clovis West defense.
Russell Neal didn't have a chance that time, Tony. He just got nailed.
He was hit as he threw the ball.
As soon as he threw the ball, and that made the pass come up short, and that made it easy for number 40, John Martin, to come up with the interception.
And he brought it all the way down to the 6. It was Martin who made that big fumble recovery that turned the tide in the first half after Gomes had the ball get away from him near the goal line for Madera. 3:45 to go. Here's the give up the middle to Von Essen. And Von Essen hammers across the 5 down to about the 4. And Clovis West has this ball game firmly in their clutches, Mike.
I think it's safe to say, Tony, that this game's in the bag with 3:30 and counting left on the clock. Clovis West leading 9-0.
Like Canadian football, Mike. No rouges allowed.
Second down and goal to go. If they score here, it's all over for Madera.
I think it's all over anyway, frankly. Lewis in the backfield with Von Essen. Here's Von Essen up the middle. And he moves it to about the 3 before he's snowed under by the entire Madera defensive line.
We got to give Madera credit. Their offense has been productive today. They've had their share of yards. They just have not been able to punch that ball across the goal line and get those all-important scores. But if they can correct a couple things and come out next week, you can bet that they'll play tough against McLean at their home school.
Well, Madera's problem is in one column tonight, turnovers, 5 of them. That's way too many against a team of the caliber of Clovis West. Here's a keeper and a touchdown. Bauer faking up the middle, taking it himself, and it's 15-0 Clovis West.
We've got fireworks here at Darrell Monica Stadium. Clovis West celebrating with a little light show here. And they have reason to do so. Ranked number 10 coming in. They'll move up in the polls. Leading 15-0. They'll try and make it 16-0 right here.
Bauer to hold, Kirk to boot. He does. The kick is perfect. And with 2:28 to go in the ball game, it's Clovis West 16, Madera nothing.
There you see some of the fireworks. Clovis West really pumped up for this game. They've executed very well today. Done just about everything perfect, and the score shows it's 16-0. A missed field goal is all that mars their perfect performance today, and they've got reason to be happy. See number 30, Brian Zimmer, one of the stars of today's game.
Back deep will be Lyons and Gomes. Getting set to kick is Jim Kirk. His kick will come down to Gomes at about the 3. Gomes heading up the middle. And Gomes is dumped at about the 29-yard line, as in is number 15, Brent Mosier, to knock him down. Call it the 24-yard line.
Brent Mosier, defensive back, who also alternates as quarterback. 5'9", 150 pounds. He really put a crunch on Gomes that time. Also number 54, Jim Hendricks, defensive end, and on the tackle.
2:08 and counting, as up to the line of scrimmage comes Russell Neal in a very disadvantageous position. He looks for the pitch, nobody there, and he'll take it himself. And Neal dodges a few tacklers, but he can't dodge number 68, Josh Gingold. And he's down at about the 33 as Neal, and they'll go without a huddle with about 1:40 to go in the game. Neal to throw. Here's his pass just underthrown. Barbosa can't quite reach it. It'll be 3rd and about 1.
Number 23, Tracy Lujan, was back on defense for Clovis West. But if Barbosa had come down with that one, they would have had some room to run. Unfortunately, the pass came up a little short. It's 3rd and short now for Madera with a 1:30 left. I think, Tony, they're just trying to get some on the board. They want to go out of here with a little respect. They don't really have too much to be saddened about. They've shown a fine performance, but turnovers and penalties have cost them.
Well, there's no question this game was not a 16-point ball game. It was just that Madera got down there to that fine catch by Green to make it 9. They got a little desperate in that last interception. Here's the give up to middle, and Lyons is stopped after just a couple of yards, but he's got the first down at the 35. Children on the tackle once more, along with Marko Milatovic.
The clock will stop with 1:16 left to go in this game.
Just to move the chains, though, then they'll crank it back up.
Once again, next week, tune in as Cable 4 Sports will be bringing you Clovis West versus Edison. That game at Radcliffe.
Make that Roosevelt in Edison. Here's the pass, picked off by Lujan for the third time. Tracy Lujan, 3 interceptions on the night, 5 overall for Clovis West.
Lujan's going to lead the league in interceptions after this night, Tony.
You don't think Tracy Lujan might remember this game just a little bit? Just another day at the office, 3 interceptions, a long run back, you know.
Pick up your check.
No big deal. That's, no. 57 seconds and counting. Tracy Lujan, 3 interceptions. Bauer is still the quarterback. He gives to Von Essen. Is that Von Essen? We'll see. No, it's not Von Essen. That is Tice in the ball game. That's tricky Jeff Tice, who made that long kickoff return to open the ball game, but forgot to tell us that he had changed his uniform number from 34 to 35 and left both your announcers in a baffled silence there for the better part of that kickoff return. Tice gets back to the line of scrimmage. That's all. 25 seconds to go. Here's a gift to the middle, and Tice pounds it out to near the 20. It'll be 3rd and about 2, but that should be the last play of the ball game.
Okay, Tony, and if Madera can get one more play off, this will be it. We've got 10 seconds and counting down.
There'll be no more plays. I'm sure Clovis West won't rub it in. 4 seconds as you see the clock counting down, and it's all over. Final score. Clovis West, Golden Eagles 16, Madera Coyotes nothing. As you see the final score on your screen, we'll tell you very quickly. The scoring opened up first quarter. Jim Kirk, a 34-yard field goal, 3-0. That's the way it stayed until in the second half. A couple of late touchdowns, one on a nice grab by Green and then a keeper by Bauer. It was the final score of 16-0. The big problem tonight for the Madera Coyotes, 6 turnovers, including 5 interceptions, 3 by Tracy Lujan. And Mike, for Clovis West, a great performance from Madera, not a particularly disheartening one because they were their own worst enemy for the better part of this ball game until Clovis West dominated late and picked up a 16-0 opening victory of the NYL season.
16-0, the final score. Clovis West has reason to celebrate. Cheerleaders, the fans, everyone's happy here at Gerald Loanica Stadium. Clovis West looking to move up in the polls. Today's game directed by Janice Reyes.
Take a look there.
Just remember to tune in next week. Roosevelt versus Edison at Radcliffe Stadium. Brought to you by Cable 4 Sports. Tony Diodato, Mike Piercer, announcers.